I better get back to it.
What?
It's like somebody's got a little bit of
I don't what?
Wanna make it official, Rich?
I think I should. I'm going to make this official. I now pronounce you actor in town. Ladies and gentlemen.
You guys, okay, just real quick. These two, and I can't. Sometimes it's, you get them mixed up, right? It's, it's just like kind of yin and yang over here. I have one solid fail-proof way of telling these two apart. You wanna know? You wanna know what it is? Okay. We have Benedict, still a dick.
I've been a dick. But in fairness, I knew something was coming because he was backstage going like this.
He didn't do it when he walked over here. He said,
Benedict, there was a lick of the lips all over there. Oh, it was a Bulls lick lip stage cross.
Oh, I love it. Brilliant. That's the kind of thing you only get in New Jersey. You're welcome. All right, boys, have at it. We'll see you.
Hi, I'm Sam.
Hi.
I'm Sam. And Dean.
We only get one? God. I'd like to erase the memories of important women burning on the ceiling in my room. I think I, as Sam, would have a lot less to deal with, a lot less issues if I hadn't had a recurring dream of my mother and my girlfriend burning on the ceiling. I think that probably stands out. Senor Ackles?
Just one aspect about the brothers' lives?
Yeah, like anything about their life.
It'd be nice if they could stay in a hotel once in a while. We had,
You're in one.
It's true.
Hey, Daniil, calm down. Good one, Jensen.
We do a lot of our capture and torture scenes in abandoned places, so to speak, and they're generally run down and very, disgusting. And a lot of those places aren't dressed up to look like that; they are that. So there's been many buildings that we've gone into that have been condemned because of asbestos or because of it's not. And we're just like, oh, okay, but it's cool for us to work here? How does...
There have been several times where members of our crew will be wearing face masks.
Yeah, like hazmat suits, and they're like, hey guys, right this way. Or they're like, wait a second, why do you look like all the people from E.T.? One of the...
At Riverview that one time, we were walking through, and I was like, oh, that's a nice touch. There's a big, condemned asbestos in the building. I was like, oh, that's a nice touch.
Yeah, set deck did a good job. Attention to detail, impeccable.
And they were like,
no, that's real.
That's real. That's why we can rent the place so cheap. People taking hits off oxygen.
I remember, it was maybe a year or two ago when we were in one of these filthy, filthy places, and I was talking to our B camera dolly grip, Shane, and we were talking about the place, and he just goes, he's like, why can't we ever torture somebody in the Four Seasons? So that would be nice.
Or maybe we hunt demons in Hawaii or something. Little onesie, Baywatch style, running down the beach. Yeah, none of that. None of that. Thank you very much, Sam. Lock juice? What did you hear? Wait, did you hear it? No, don't say that. I want to know what he heard. I don't want you to poison his delicate ears. What did you hear her name was?
Obtuse.
At least I heard lock juice. I was like, is that Scottish? Loch Ness, lock juice.
It's not my real name by through, but anyway.
What is your name?
Jess.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, let's
Hang on a minute.
We call BS.
Is that what you said first?
This is like one of those Rorschach, like ink splatter tests. There's a psychologist somewhere in the building, like making notes. Jared heard a Scottish lake. Jensen heard an angle of a triangle. Greater than 90 degrees, but less than 180.
Okay, that's 2 for those who are keeping counting on the mic drops from Jared.
As I picked it up, I hit it with my thumb. I know.
This is why you can't have nice things.
Dang, battery just
It
got-
says the battery's dead and it's broken.
just showed the shattered iPhone. Hi, how are you, Lock Jess?
Pretty good, Jared.
So we had Sam and then Jess. I can't wait to figure out what your name is.
I'm a big fan of Ed Enlund and his writing, and I was wondering if there's a favorite episode that he wrote that you really liked.
That's difficult.
Yeah, he's a really good writer.
Yeah, there's a ton. French Mistake. I would say it was probably his certainly a shining moment for what he had written. Didn't he write Yellow Fever? Another one of my favorites. Yeah.
Is that the suicidal bear? Which one is the suicidal bear?
That's wishful thinking.
That's wishful thinking. Wishful thinking.
Yeah, what was that called?
Wishful thinking.
It was called, what was the episode called?
Wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking.
What?
Yeah. That,
What was your favorite Ben Edlund script?
It was probably The French Mistake, just because you're acting, you know, Nisha's acting, everyone's acting.
That's Dean's acting. Awesome. Thank you.
Misha actually wasn't acting, by the way. They were just rolling the camera as he was pushing people away and speaking to his Misha amigos.
And you know we were doing a documentary, so it was interesting.
They didn't give me the real script.
No. Hi.
Thanks, Obtuse. What do you think we're saying? Psychologist, do you have your pen and paper? Do you have your pen and paper?
Hi.
You start, because you have that thing that you want to share.
Let's see, little teaser. Yes, the episode that we are currently filming, I will say, let's say something happens to Dean that is similar to like Yellow Fever. I would say it's there's going to be some. It's a funny episode. And it's certainly so far one of my favorite scripts this season. So.
I was wondering what songs are on heavy rotation on iTunes for you guys right now.
Lately, it's been pretty much the same thing for both of us. A lot of Kaleo. Radio Moscow.
Yeah, the record company. Who else?
Phil Collins. I mean it. I got back into it. I heard Invisible Touch like a couple weeks ago on the radio, and I was like, oh yeah, I haven't gone through a nice Phil Collins stage in a while. So it's a lot of that.
Hi, sorry Jensen, but I have a question for Jared. What was it like? What was it like coming back to Gilmore Girls after many years?
Also referred to as the original Dean. It was pretty awesome.
You know, the original Sam was played by Allison Sweeney, so. You're the second girl to play my sister named Sam on TV.
I love Allison Sweeney. I'll take that. I started Gilmore Girls when I was 17, and when I did my first episode, I intended to go back to college and go back to UT Austin and be an engineer. I read books, I had my schedule. Thank you for keeping me working. My parents are so proud of their college dropout.
Well, technically, you never went to college, so you didn't necessarily drop out. You just never showed up. Because you and I have the exact same story. We went, we got registered, we got classes, I had a dorm room assignment, I had a roommate set up, and then I was like, I'm not going. So technically, I didn't drop out. I never showed up.
Truants. We're basically college truants.
Yes.
Semantics.
Or college druids.
Druids. Lock juice. It was awesome. I got to finally, I kind of touched on this earlier, I got to finally close a chapter in my life that I didn't feel like I was able to, because the last scene I ever did of Gilmore Girls, I was supposed to come back and do like 5 or 6 more, or possibly 2.5 more seasons, however long Gilmore Girls went. And then Supernatural happened, and the network and studio obviously put me on that. And so I was never able to go back and kind of finish Dean's story or explain kind of what happened. And it was always kind of a sadness I had. It's almost like you look back in your past at high school, you're like, oh, I wish I could have done that differently. Or I wish I could have told this person that they meant that to me, or that told that person thank you, or talked to that teacher, or done something. I got to go back and do all of that. And so I'm really grateful for that opportunity.
When you went back and reprised your role, did you walk a little bit more bow-legged?
I was wearing a peacoat with a popped collar.
Makes me proud. What is your question?
What's your favorite scary movie?
That's a great question.
My Bloody Valentine.
I think you and I certainly share a fondness of The Shining.
Yeah.
However, if we're going to go a little bit more modern, I I would have to say The Strangers.
That's a couple. That's what I was going to freaking say. That's what I was going to say.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I think that's funny. Yeah, The Shining as a classic, but Strangers as like a really scary, just good, scary movie.
Strong work. I will say that the scaredest I have ever been while watching a movie was not necessarily the scariest movie, but it's because, well, I don't know if I've ever told you the story. So many years ago, when I was actually working on Days of Our Lives, calm it down. I lived in a house with two buddies of mine, and one of them was an agent's assistant at William Morris Talent Agency, which is a very, very big firm in Los Angeles. And one day he would get, scripts and all these kinds of things that would kind of float around the office and stuff. And he'd bring them home and he'd be like, "Hey, I got this new script. It's not even out yet." And we kind of get to see things that we weren't supposed to see. Well, one day he brings home this VHS tape, which some of you may not even know what that is. And it's completely unmarked. And he's like, "Hey dude, this has been floating around the office. Apparently, there was some footage that was found on camera in like upstate New York. And some editors got a hold of it and they actually edited it together. And this is like, it's like a black market movie." And I was like, okay, weird. So anyway, he leaves it with me and then like goes out to dinner with some friends, and my, at the time, girlfriend comes over and I'm like, "Hey, you want to check out this like crazy movie that Tracy brought home?" And she's like, "Okay, sure." We pop it in and did not blink for like an hour and a half of just mouths open, just like, I was horrified. It was the Blair Witch Project. So I'm just sitting there thinking like, this really happened. This is 100% real. These people are, this is, and I mean, I was freaking out. And then I come to find out that it was all a hoax and it was actually a movie and blah, blah, blah. And then it was like, okay, but that was,
20 years later, the director comes in
and then
Supernatural.
Eduardo Sanchez comes and actually directs us on Supernatural, which was pretty cool. But yeah, that was, I was horrified. Yeah. So for those of you who hadn't seen it, there you go, I just ruined it for you. It's not real.
That came out in...
What else? If you haven't seen Titanic, the boat sinks.
Is anybody in here...
Spoiler alert.
Is anybody in here under 16? So they weren't born when it came out. That's awesome. It came out in 99.
Yeah, that's the year I saw it. Before anybody even mentioned it. It was frightening. Okay, where are we? Over here? Okay, where are we? Over here? Hey.
Hi, Paige, sorry, I lost my voice. But, so we always see you two together, and like you're so close to the show, you're brothers, and we always see you together like in person, so I was wondering if you considered yourself...
Forever not together?
Together. Considered yourself like brothers in real life?
All right, Jared, earmuffs.
There's such thing as real life?
Yeah, we just don't want to admit it.
There's a lot of dust in this room. Why, is he need anybody? It's been pretty special. It's been something probably to much of you on the audience to share. I never thought when I read the pilot 12 years ago, 12 years ago, I guess, that I would grow to meet my wife, several friends, one of my dearest friends. Our wives were just hanging out the other day, and it's funny because he'll call and be like, "Hey, JJ might be sick, and I'll be like, okay, cool, that means my kids will be, or vice versa. No, but it's not good to know. It's like, okay, they go to the same preschool, so if one of them gets sick, it means it's the most recent school special, so and vice versa. So it's a cool, it's gonna be, we talk about this a lot, and maybe because there have been so many interviews lately about when's the show gonna end. 2040. It's a long time from now. It's going to be really difficult. I mean that when I'm saying, like, in reality, it's been such a blur, a wonderful blur. I feel so blessed. But it's going to be really strange when they call, that's a wrap on Supernatural. When we're on set.
It's going to be a tough day. It'll be a tough shooting day to get through.
Does anybody want to be there for it? Just give him a call.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I recently had a really cool conversation with an actor that I admire. You guys know Luke Perry. And he was talking about how unique this situation is to work with a friend, and a dear friend and a best friend. And how special that is. And he told me, he's like, I still live down the street from Jason, as in Jason Priestley. And he's like, he's still one of my best friends in my life, and will forever be. And so I took I took solace in that, knowing that that's probably what this Yahoo and I will be like in the years to come. So yeah, I'd say we're both pretty competitive. I would say that there is he has I would say a stronger, persistent drive. I tend to get distracted.
I'm a moose. I'm a stubborn moose. I think that's also been part of growing up. I think we probably both started the show competitive. I think he and I also understood something from a very early position, very early on. I think he was very competitive, I was very competitive, but we realized, it's almost as if we knew going into it, that being competitive with each other was only going to serve to break us both down. So we almost were like, sweet, you're competitive? Me too. Let's team up and beat everybody else.
Together we'll be super competitive.
But naturally so.
But naturally, so supernaturally competitive.
Me too. Fan, yes. But I'm also a big Golden Girls fan, and I watch a lot with my grandmother. And last season we found out who Sam and Dean's favorite Golden Girl was. And I was wondering if
when did you find out?
Into the Mystic.
With the Banshee.
Yeah. Sam likes Sophia, and Dean likes Blanche. So I was wondering if either of you guys had a favorite Golden Girl, and if you do, why?
I think Dean wins that one.
Yeah, I'm a Blanche guy too. For sure.
We're all Blanche guys.
But thank you for being a friend. Down the road and back again. You ask why I know that song. I don't know.
He's been practicing for next Con's Saturday Night Special. We're going to dress up as the Golden Girls. I gotta go back and watch that.
Rob will be Sophie.
Actually, what's funny is that was one of those shows. It was like Golden Girls, All in the Family, and MASH were on. Yeah. Oh, that was awesome. They were always on whatever the local San Antonio affiliate played. Like right as my bedtime happened, it was those three shows. And it went All in the Family, MASH, Golden Girls. And so I usually would fall asleep sometime between All in the Family and MASH. But every now and again, I'd be less tired. I see Golden Girls, but I didn't go back and really watch it until Gilmore Girls because they would make Golden Girls references, and I was like, I should probably know what they're talking about. So I'm gonna go watch it. Super funny. Stands the test time. Yeah, thanks, Justin.
The next 20 years, people will be falling asleep between Supernatural and Grey's Anatomy. And that goes.
Probably during one of your scenes. Gangsters.
Bad boy.
Bandana on. You know what I mean?
What's this?
I mean, like, to be, wearing like a big old puffy coat in the summer or something. Bulges that are very obviously like guns. It would be like, I didn't do it.
Stop talking.
Was it West Virginia lady call?
Hi. Stop it.
Maybe
Stop.
Has a banjo.
Turn his mic off again. One of the things that he does
High five.
is
Yeah, I got it.
he starts to laugh. I'm gonna foot 5 your face. As he starts to smile. Gosh, man. Forget it. Hi.
That's really difficult.
I would say Lucifer when he played this. I also thought he did a pretty great job of Gadriel. Put a lot of like extra thought into that, which you normally don't do. Yeah, when he's playing Sam and he puts zero thought into it. No, I thought, I mean, there's several to choose from, more than several. Those were certainly a couple of my favorites.
Yeah, I can't remember the episode names, and it was never when he played a different version. Right, it's never when he plays it, but either way, that's what I always thought worked really well for the show and for Jensen and for Dean were the moments where we see Dean's vulnerability, and it goes back to really early on to the phone call outside the gas station that we just shot up earlier this year, like calling Dad and seeing where this gruff exterior comes from. And it's probably easy. I don't play Dean, so I don't know, but it's probably a bit easier to play the gruff, swashbuckling, devil-may-care Han Solo type. So finding that layer of, when he's talking about how he tortured people in hell, and that kind of like the shame and when you see a bit of somebody's shame, like when your phone rings during a just kidding. When you see like a little bit of like shame and fear, then it makes it's the glue that holds the character together. It sounds cliche. So when he's done these bits, or like looking after Sammy, or doing whatever it takes, and you see it's from a place of real legitimate care and love, and they've been peppered in every season, not ever in the form of another character, but it's hard to play the tough guy and the guy that's not scared of anything, and then be able to tap into that vulnerability. And that makes it all make sense. So. Great question, and one that I know we think about a lot because we talk about it. Not so much as like, when are you going to show them, but about, so my boys and his girl, when we leave Austin to go to work, we're like, hey, we're going to work. And they're all, like, hey, you're going to work. And so it's not like, well, we're just going to go for a walk. We can come back a week later. So they know a little bit of what we do. The TV has been on before, and it's been us. I know in my house, or like when they're on the iPad and they go to YouTube or something, and it's like recommended because one time you watched a gag reel, so it's like recommended. Sam gets killed by blah blah blah. They're like, oh, Daddy. I actually had a funny earlier this year. Now that y'all seen the torture scene, I had the stuff on my face and blood and fake cuts, and I get a FaceTime from my wife, and so. And I'm like, oh, great, I'm in my trailer or something, and I answer it, and I'm holding it, and then the noise, and it goes to my son, Tom. And he's like, Daddy, what's on your face? Oh, and so I'm showing him, I'm like, no, look, it's not real, look, it never hurt, it's like a tattoo, because they have like little dragon stickers, and fly tattoos, which you put upside down, and you get it wet, and you pull it off, it's like, hey, scare mommy, there's a fly on you, they think it's the coolest thing in the world. And so I went back to my special effects makeup artists who did it, and I was like, hey guys, do y'all mind giving me, I'm going to be home this weekend. My son was freaking out thinking that I was like really hurt because it looked so real. I tweeted a picture of it, like it looks real. The same day I was Facebooking them, or Facebook, whatever it's called, FaceTiming. And so I took some home, I took some injuries home, and I was like, hey guys, do y'all remember Daddy and he was hurt and it wasn't real? Like, do you want to do it? And Shep was like, no. And Tom was like, me neither. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess they're over. He goes, wait, is it just like a tattoo? And I was like, just like a tattoo. He's like, okay. And so we go, and I get a little, it looks like a scrape. I actually have a video of it. It's phenomenal. I put it on, and he's watching me, he's sitting on the bathroom floor, and I get the little tattoo injury, and I put it on his knee. And then I get the towel and I run under the sink, kind of squeegee out the excess water and hold it on. And he's like, we're counting, and 10 seconds goes by or whatever. And I pull the towel off, and he's like, from this to.
Yeah, it looks like a giant gash in his leg.
And he's going, blood, blood. And
he's screaming. So what does Jared do? He goes and gets his phone. His 4-year-old is like, he's like, hang on, Tom. What's wrong, buddy? What's wrong?
That was bad, Tom. That was real bad.
So then Jen comes running in, and she's going to like pull it off. He's like, no, touch it, no, touch it.
And he is flipping out. Totally flipping out. And he was there the whole time. And he's like my brave kid who falls. He's like, I'm fine. But he was just absolutely flipping out. And like they're kind of, because they're made to be injuries, and like these were specifically made to be able to get sprayed with water when they were doing the water torture and not fall off. Like it wasn't like, oh, okay, I'll just rinse it under water, it's gonna fall off. Like it took a little bit. We had to like cover it with a towel. And I was like hanging out with him in the bathroom, going like, all right, buddy, peeking under. Is it gone? Pretty soon. But it looks so real. It looks so real that he flipped out. So I think
child abuse is alive and well in the Padalecki household.
So there's certain things that I don't think I want them to see too much.
Judging from that reaction, for sure.
Judging from that reaction.
Yeah, it'll certainly be a while before, and who knows? Maybe they won't be into that. They'll want to watch something else. But luckily we haven't. We're not quite at those decision-making phases yet. But they're coming soon, for sure. So I guess we'll deal with it when we have to. There's going to be a whole other whack of shows on at that point. Supernatural will still be on, of course.
It's okay. But yeah, thank you.
It's the last question. Hey, I think it's the last one. It's the very last question. I think it's the last one. It's the last question. Yeah, here we go. This one happens. It's the last question. You ready?
Guys, give it up for a fellow member of the SPN family, Danielle.
We can enjoy the fact that the last question moment is being shared with Bob Singer. We've never had Bob here.
That's right. Never had a Bob Singer last question moment. This is unprecedented.
This is the first.
On Twitter. This is Bob wildly excited. What is your
Repeat
question?
himself right now.
Okay, mostly bad things have happened to the Winchesters that have contributed to their character development. What do you want to happen to them further until the end of the season, and what will help them develop more?
Retirement. Massages, steak dinners, wine. Well, he probably knows definitely knows where it's going, so he's going to be like, ooh, that's not where this is going. I think one of the things that, as far as Sam is concerned, that we get to explore this year that we haven't had the chance to yet, obviously, is his relationship with his mom. So even if it's whether it's good or bad, or whether it turns out to be a happy ending or the oh-so-present tragic ending that befalls the Winchesters, I feel like whatever happens, it seems like Sam and Dean have been able to mean each other and keep going. So I don't know what's happening.
I would say I would like to have, and I'm not sure how it would work legitimately, but maybe in like an alternate universe episode or arc, or maybe even just a very long dream sequence, is have like an all-star gang all together fighting the fight. Bring back like all the heavy hitters and even some of the light ones. And
I am God, I will smite you.
and then you could just at the end of the episode, like, Dean wakes up, he's like, Sam, I had this crazy dream. Boom, credits.
Did you say all-star?
All-star gang. Yes.
He's writing it down. So
He's doing the math. Are they all flying?
If it's going to be all-star, you guys might have to like a little cut and pay.
That's fine.
Done. I assume you'd be fine.
Yeah, I will say that there's many different roads the brothers could go down. Luckily, the show has taken us down quite a few already, and luckily with the guidance of Bob and several others, there's many more roads to travel down. Where those go, we don't know. They don't let us make those decisions, thankfully. However, it is always nice, Bob, to have some fan favorites come back to the show. Because they're not just fan favorites, they're cast and crew favorites too.
I'm glad Bob came out on stage, for those of you who haven't seen him or met him, because I want you to remember this face. Because we always say, like, Jared and Jensen, it's the boys and this and that, but there have been several occasions, and there will be several occasions, that if this gentleman next to me walked away, the show would no longer be around. So, if the show ends, find him.
And guess what? He's actually tried to walk away a few times.
We all have.
And he's like, hey, Bob, you can't walk away. He's like, I know. She said, why would you want to walk away from this?
I'm not here often, but when I see this, it just rejuvenates me and
It's inspiring.
it really is. The first time I saw a convention was in Vancouver, and I came out. The boys let me come out and kind of hawk a few books for charity. I had heard about this, but it just knocks your socks off. And when you're behind the scenes the way I am, you don't expect the love and adulation that you get. So it's So I like to come and
That's
this
the
every once in a
family way.
while. Just to it charges my battery. Let's put it that way.
On that note, guys, from the three of us and Danielle.
Thank you so much for being here.